Am I recording? I guess I'm recording. So, I just want to talk quickly about something I'm thinking about, and that's fighter mentality versus victim mentality. And this is something that I've noticed in a variety of areas in my life. And I mean, not that I'm not saying or claiming to have came up with this idea, but it's something that I run into, and I notice it within myself at points of time, and I think it's helpful to distinguish which mindset you're working in, or which lens you're viewing the world from. And so that's what I want to talk about. So what is fighter mentality and a victim mentality? I would say a fighter mentality is it's approaching challenges with heart. It's approaching challenges with tenacity and grit. It's facing challenges. It's facing fears. Fighter mentality is going into the storm. It's facing hardship. It's eating sandwiches. It's pushing forward through hard times and hardships. And I would say a victim mentality is that's a difficult one. I guess a victim mentality is often a victim mentality is having the mentality that the world is acting on you and you're not acting on the world. It's paying attention and focusing on the things that happen and not the things that you can make happen. It's focusing on the things that are outside of your control, and it's avoiding accountability. It's avoiding responsibility. It's dangerous. It's very dangerous, and it's alluring. It's easy to fall into the trap of wanting to play the victim mentality card. Everybody's done it at points. It's easy to get frustrated about something happening to you and just feeling like the world's against you. But if you stay in that frame of mind, you'll never get anywhere. That is at least my belief. So, what are a few examples of this? I mean, the first example for me that comes to mind is when I'm training, like jiu-jitsu. Sometimes I'll be training with somebody and maybe I just got on the mats and I'm not really warmed up, and maybe they're coming at me a little bit too hard. And sometimes I'll catch myself going into those roles with a victim mentality and not a fighter mentality. And so what I mean by that is just getting like sometimes I find myself getting frustrated with the energy that they're giving me. Yeah, you know, you get frustrated with the cards you're dealt, and you're so focused on the cards you're dealt that you don't even try to play your hand well. I think that's the real problem with victim mentality, is if it's a game of cards, say you get a shitty hand, victim mentality is focusing so much on the fact that you get a shitty hand that you don't even try to play your hands well. And having a fighter mentality is trying to play that hand that you got as best as you can. You say, oh, okay, give me the shittiest hand, I'm still gonna win. That's a fighter mentality. That's a make it happen mentality. And I don't think you get anywhere in life if you don't have that mentality. So back to the example. Yeah, oftentimes when I'm just warming up and I'm like maybe a little bit sore and I'm a little bit achy, I'll find somebody's just coming at me. They're just trying to kill me like the first round of the day training, and they're just cranking on my neck, and I'm like, bro, I just got on the mat, bro. Like, come on, dude. Like, I'm fucking sore, and you're like just trying to Darce choke the shit out of me, you know? And it's like, sometimes you catch yourself in this loop of just blame. But oftentimes when that happens, the only choice you have is to just approach it with a fighter mentality. It has to be like, all right, that's the energy you want. All right, I can match that. You know, all right, you want to go like that? We can scrap a little bit. You know, and I think you got to be able to approach life like that. You got to have a fighter mentality. I guess the real danger of victim mentality is the lack of accountability that comes with it. Because when you don't take accountability for your actions, you don't have the ability to make any changes to make anything happen. If everything is outside of your control, then you will never make anything happen. And when you take a victim mentality, you're giving away your control. You are like creating that reality in your head, because in your head you believe, oh, well, this is out of my control. So you're focusing on that so much. You're focusing on what's outside your control so much that you make it more of a reality, versus if you approached it with a fighter mentality. And a fighter mentality, I guess, could also be described as making something happen regardless of the current situation, or the belief that you can make something happen regardless of the current situation. Sorry if this video is a little bit scattered. I'm just kind of sharing some thoughts. Yeah. I mean, I guess another example of this fighter versus victim mentality is the job I'm currently working, which is a door-to-door sales job. It's quite a scary job for me, especially early on, I'm slowly getting more and more comfortable with it, but the first couple days there was a lot of resistance, and it was really hard, and it still is kind of hard to keep myself out of a victim mentality and to try and continue to get myself to go back towards a fighter mentality. There's so many excuses you can make. There's so many, it's just so easy to look for a way out. So easy. What's really hard is having that fighter mentality to keep going, regardless of how much you don't want to. Because going and knocking on somebody's door and having them tell you to get off their lawn is not very fun. Knocking on a bunch of doors and not having anybody answer, and when they do answer, they don't want to talk to you, is not fun. It's not fun. And quite honestly, for me, it's very much outside my comfort zone. But that's precisely why I need to do it, and I need to get comfortable with it. It's because it's going to force me to grow. And so I'm trying my best to approach this job with a fighter's mentality. And it's a work in progress. I'm not perfect by any means. I don't know if it's possible to always have a fighter's mentality. I don't know if that's even a possibility. But I think that having the ideas clearly established and distinguished, if that makes sense. I don't know if that's the right use of that word, but clearly laying out the ideas in your head, I think, can be helpful to really catch yourself going into those frames of mind. And so I hope maybe somebody will watch this video someday, and maybe it'll be helpful to them. So that's really all I've got to say. Be a fighter. Don't be a victim. And that sounds insensitive. Of course, I don't. That's nothing. That's no. I'm not saying anything against people that are victims of some sort of unfortunate situation. I'm simply talking of mentality-wise. Have a fighter mentality. Approach everything from the frame of mind that you can act on it, and that it's not acting on you. Approach everything like you can make it happen, and like you have control over the situation. And I think that's kind of coming at it with a fighter's mentality, And it's something I'm working on, so I hope I can strive to, I hope I can do that for the rest of my life. I want to do that for the rest of my life. So I'll try my best. Alright. That's all I got.